Mitchell has tears streaming down her eyes. What's wrong with me? She asked. I have a great husband, great kid, a great job. I am fit, I am healthy. We have a lovely house. We are well off. We live in a beautiful area. So why aren't I happy? It's a good question, Michelle. Seems to have everything she wants in life. So what's wrong? What do you do when you have an itch? You scratch it, right? And usually this works so well when you don't even think about it. Scratch the itch and it goes away. Problem solved. But suppose one day you develop a patch of eczema, a common skin condition. The skin is very itchy. So naturally you scratch it. However, the skin cells in the regions are already inflamed and therefore highly sensitive. And when you scratch them, they release chemical called histamines, which are highly irritating. And this histamine inflames the skin even further. Scratching is a good solution for a fleeing itch in normal healthy skin, but for a persistent itch, it is abnormal and scratching is harmful. The solution becomes part of the problem. This is known as vicious cycle. UV also feel anxious in social situations. She copes with this by drinking heavily. In the short term, alcohol reduces her anxiety, but the next day she feels hungover and tired, and she often regrets the money she spent on alcohol or worries about the embarrassing things she did while under the influence. Shows she accepts anxiety for a little while, but the price she pays is a lot of other unpleasant feelings over the long term. And if she ever finds herself in a social situation where she can't drink, her anxiety is greater than ever because she doesn't have alcohol to rely on. You can see this example of trying to get rid of or avoid or escape from unpleasant feeling. We call this control strategies because they are attempt to directly control how you feel. What is the problem with control? The problem with using method like this, try to control our thoughts and feeling, the answer is nothing if you use them only in moderation. You use them only in situation where they can work. Using them doesn't stop you from doing the things you value. However, control methods become problematic when you use them excessively. You use them in situation where they can't work. Using them stops you from doing the things you truly value. If you are worried about upcoming exam, you may try to distract yourself from the anxiety by watching television. Now that's fine if you are only doing it every now and then. But if you do it too much, you'll spend all your evening watching television and you won't get any studying done. This in turn will create more anxiety as your studies lag further and further behind. Therefore, as a method of anxiety control, distraction simply can't work in the long run. And then there's the obvious, dealing with your anxiety in this way prevents you from doing the one thing that would be genuinely helpful: studying. When using control stop us from doing what we value. Suppose you've gone through a divorce. Sadness, fear and anger are all natural reactions, but you don't want to have these unpleasant feelings. So you try to lift your mood by eating junk food, getting drunk or chain smoking cigarettes. But what does this do to your health? I have never met anyone who didn't value their health. And yet so many people use control strategies that actively damage their physical bodies. What has control got to do with the happiness trap? The happiness trap is built with ineffective control strategies. In order to feel happy, we try hard to control what we are feeling, but these control strategies have three significant costs. First, they take up a lot of time and energy and are usually ineffective in the long run. Second, we feel silly, defective or weak-minded because the thoughts, feelings we are trying to get rid of keep coming back. Many strategies that decrease unpleasant feeling in the short term actually lower our quality of life over the long term. These unwanted outcomes lead to more unpleasant feelings and thus even more attempts to control them. It's a vicious cycle. How do I escape this vicious cycle? Increasing your self-awareness is the first step. Notice all the things you do each day to dodge, change unpleasant thoughts and feelings. And when you find yourself using these control strategies, notice the consequences. Keep a journal or spend a few minutes each day reflecting on this. The faster you can recognize when you are stuck in the trap, the faster you can lift yourself out of it.